At the end of the last lesson, your tile looked like this, a dark gray. As the clay dries, it turns a lighter gray. When it is completely bone dry, it is what is called greenware and is ready for the kiln. The kiln is where the clay is fired. The first firing is called a bisque firing. During the bisque firing, the temperature raises to 1940 degrees Fahrenheit. During this, the clay turns a white color and takes over 24 hours to fire and cool before the pieces can be removed. This temperature is much hotter than your oven at home, which probably only goes up to about 500 degrees. This year, as you have completed art projects, you have been using some of the 7 elements of art: line, shape, form, space, color, value, and texture. For example, in the tile, you used line to draw your design, which also created texture on top of the tile form. Today you will add color to your clay pieces with glaze. Glaze is what paint for ceramics or clay is called. Glazes look different as you apply them, and they change color with the high temperatures of the kiln. Somewhat like bread when toasted, it darkens with the heat. These glazed pieces will be fired a second time to 2232 degrees. On your tile, you'll be using these colors of glaze, and this is what they will look like after firing in the kiln. They have some funny names. There is tuxedo black, cottontail white, and the warm colors of hot tamale red, sun-kissed yellow, jack-o'-lantern orange, and cool colors of Caribbean blue, green thumb, and grapple purple. Glaze is applied in multiple light coats, so make sure you have a small amount of glaze on the brush. The first coat will be translucent or see-through, as you'll be able to see the white clay underneath. Before putting more glaze on the brush, make sure the glaze is spread evenly over the clay with no spots thicker than others. This video has been sped up, however, you will be working slowly and carefully, applying one color at a time, completely glazing the tile. Glaze dries pretty quickly. Once you have put the first coat of glaze on, let it dry before applying the second coat, increasing the value or darkness of the color. As you use your paintbrush, remember to press lightly, not smashing the brush's bristles. For best results, 3 coats of glaze should be applied, with drying in between each coat. Make sure that the glaze does not get on the sides or bottom of the tile, as this will fuse or stick the tile to the kiln shelf and would most likely break when removed. Another way you could apply the glaze to the tile would be to make the lines black. And to do this, you're going to put one coat of black, making sure it goes into the lines. And to give it a more uniform look, also apply a light coat of black over the entire tile. Then use the wet yellow sponge to wipe away the black from the surface of the tile, leaving the glaze and the texture of the tile. Then apply glaze one color at a time, waiting for the glaze to dry between coats. Remember, the value of the color will increase with each layer, and 3 is recommended. So as you're ready to change colors, you will have obviously some glaze still on your brush, and you need to just dip it in the water and kind of gently touch it against the bottom of the water cup. And then you can use your wet sponge and just wipe, turn it over and wipe. And if you still see any on there, just rinse again, wipe, and then you can go into your next color. But always make sure that you clean your brush before you change colors. The pieces of the collaborative sculpture have also gone through the kiln. These also need glaze added to them, and you will be called to the table a few at a time while others work on their tiles. We'll be using 3 warm colors: cinnamon stick red, cantaloupe orange, dandelion yellow. These colors will contrast the cool colors of the greens in the grass and the plants outside of the school. The glaze will be applied just like the tiles, one color at a time, letting the glaze dry between coats. After a day or so and the glaze is dried completely, volunteers will apply a clear coat to your tiles for you. This clear coat is green and turns clear as it reacts to the high heat of the kiln. So do not worry if you see the tiles drying in the hallways and they have turned a bright green. All of the pieces will then be fired to 2,232 degrees in the kiln, and you will get them back next time.